Good morning. I want to provide an update on our right of entry forms, philanthropic giving, and our newly formed Altadena Recovery Commission. So far, more than 6,000 households have opted in to have their properties cleared of debris. There's been a lot of momentum because people have been opting in, and that's why we're moving into phase 2 of debris removal already in some parts of Altadena. As we've said many times, these right of entry forms must be submitted for the government to clear debris from your properties without any charge. This is the quickest and the most efficient way to have your debris cleared so that you can begin rebuilding. In Altadena alone, over 40% of households impacted have submitted their right of entry forms. This is a great start, and while we're impressed with the numbers so far, we encourage all of you to not only submit your own right of entry forms, but encourage your neighbors to do so as well. I want to briefly address the questions I've been seeing about philanthropic benefit funds and how they'll get into the hands of our residents. I've heard questions from many of my constituents about what are the funds going to go toward and if they will see the money in their community. I want to reassure you that we are monitoring relief funds for wildlife survivors and will be advocating for your most acute needs. The county will post a list of available grant programs on our Recovery Relief website so residents can access them with greater ease, and that includes our small businesses. Finally, I want to again talk about the creation of the Altadena Recovery Commission, known as ARC. This advisory body will focus on the systemic and methodological rebuilding of Altadena, bringing together community leaders with industry experts to ensure all residents can swiftly return to their homes. My commitment is to fulfill the vision of the community for rebuilding Altadena and equip our community with experts in architecture, housing development, and infrastructure to develop housing plans that are scalable and efficient. I want to make it clear, the obligation to restore infrastructure and expedite rebuilding falls squarely on the county. I will be seeing this through to the end, partnering with our community during every single step. This commission will put resources to work to rebuild our Altadena. Our residents deserve nothing less than the incredible expertise and resources accessible to Los Angeles County so that we can collectively create an affordable and sustainable return home. If you're interested in joining the commission, I will be posting more information on my website in the coming days. With that, I would now like to introduce Supervisor Horvath.
Good morning. I want to congratulate Chair Barger on the progress she's making in the Altadena area, and I want to thank all of the communities who encompass the Palisades fire area. Last night I was with residents in Sunset Mesa who are striving to be a model community for how recovery can happen by working together. And I think this sense of partnership and community is what is going to help us be resilient and recover in a safe and sustainable way. Since last Wednesday, we've made progress on our road to recovery. On Friday, we achieved 100% containment of the Palisades fire. Phase 1 household hazardous waste collection by the EPA continues, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has begun Phase 2 debris removal, as you just heard, in the Altadena area. We're affirmed that more than half of our property owners between both fires have opted into the right of entry program. This coordinated action will accelerate our cleanup process. If you have questions about the right of entry form or the debris removal process, please tune in to our virtual town hall tonight at 6 p.m. I want to thank Public Works staff for simultaneously overseeing the cleanup process with the EPA and with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, while also preparing Los Angeles County areas for rain. A reminder that the PCH is closed through Friday from Chautauqua to Carbon Beach Terrace. Caltrans closed the PCH out of an abundance of caution given the rain prediction and what we're seeing today, as well as the potential for mudslides. If you have or are experiencing any storm-related issues, please call our 24-hour Public Works Dispatch Center at 800-675-HELP. Yesterday, our Board of Supervisors took action on price gouging by increasing the penalty up to $50,000 and enhancing enforcement. No one should be taking advantage of people who have already suffered so much. This returns to the board on Tuesday, and if approved, will become effective countywide. No one in Los Angeles County should have to worry about being taken advantage of by predatory price gouging, period. The board has also adopted my motion to protect county beaches from pollution from fire debris. County Public Works and Beaches and Harbors have already called on Cal OES, as well as our State Water Board, to bring additional people, equipment, and advanced water testing to Los Angeles County. And I personally spoke with Governor Newsom over the weekend, and he affirmed California's commitment to protecting our beaches in partnership with us here in Los Angeles County, and we are grateful for how he continues to show up for all of us here. Please stay informed, stay safe during this week's rain, and now it's my pleasure to introduce Sheriff Robert Luna.
Thank you, Supervisor, and good morning to all of you. I just want to give a quick update on our involvement as the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Obviously, a lot of work going on with post-fire related activities. One of the primary questions that a lot of our residents are asking is related to security. People want to make sure that their properties are safe and secure, both in the Altadena area and in the Malibu area. I can stand up here and tell you that we assess our deployments on a daily basis, assess and then reassess. I feel confident that with the staffing that we have at both different locations, that we're able to do our primary mission, still responding to 911 calls. If anybody in either one of those communities need us, we are here for you. We have enhanced security in both locations to make sure that we are preventing any crimes from occurring. The message has been clear from the very beginning. Don't go to these neighborhoods and commit crime. We have tripled or quadrupled our resources in both areas. Specifically in the Eaton area, we've had horse patrols. I authorize the use of drones out in those locations. One of our airships is constantly flying over that area and other areas, which includes the Malibu area. But we will consistently evaluate from that aspect. We are assisting our public works partners with road closures, as Supervisor Horvath just stated about the road closures that we anticipate through Friday, depending on road conditions, and we're praying for the best, but we have to prepare if for some reason it lasts longer. And beyond all that work, we're also dealing with immigration protests throughout the region. So we're trying to staff everything. We're assisting LAPD. We're coordinating. I'm still coordinating with the Cal OES director in regards to National Guard deployment, which they are still deployed in both of our areas, and I'll say 3 areas because in the Palisades for LAPD, and still coordinating with the California Highway Patrol to make sure that we're covering all areas. And with that, I am going to now introduce the Public Works Director of Los Angeles County, Mark Pastrella.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'm going to brief on the storm that we just had, or we're in the middle of, the incident we're in, and then also give some information on the debris removal process, what's happening there. As Sheriff mentioned, I also want to talk a little bit about the role of our department and my own role here in the county in terms of our protecting people's lives, property, and the environment. As the Chief Engineer of the Flood Control District, the County Engineer, the County Surveyor, the County Road Commissioner, and the Director of Public Works, my resources are being currently used to assess over the entire county any risk to people, property, or the environment. We're using all resources to do this. That's 600 engineers, 4,000 employees total. 3,000 of those are folks that are out in the streets doing the maintaining, operating sewer, water, storm drain, flood control channels on a 24/7 basis right now. So we are actively looking, and our role is to assess risk to people, and that's the primary mission there. And so one of the things that's been happening as we assess these two burn areas and the infrastructure serving them, we're making deeper and deeper assessments, and we're learning more and more about just how much damage has occurred in these areas, whether it's along PCH or it's up the canyon roads in the city of Malibu. The level of destruction and the scope of this damage is beyond anything that we have seen here in LA County in terms of infrastructure. And I would say, and you're hearing nationally, many of my colleagues around the country are also agreeing, it's probably one of the largest natural disasters and specifically damage to infrastructure seen in the United States. It is significant, and the state of affairs is that the area is unstable and high risk to people. Whether you're a traveling motorist or you are a property owner, there is risk in our environment right now. Risk of bodily damage, property damage, risk to lives, and risk to the environment. And we are doing many, many things and expending tons and tons of money and resources to try to reduce the risk. But the risk continues to remain high. Yesterday, I advised my partners, the state of California, Caltrans, and other partners, sheriff, PDs, and fire departments, first responders, about this risk. As Sheriff mentioned, we use this information, I provide this information as a part of my role to our first responders, and then we make a joint decision along with our health department to what actions need to be taken. The result of that briefing yesterday was the closure of PCH and a soft closure. So we are allowing, or Caltrans is allowing, essential workers to come through, first responders and contractors to make their way through, and then we're limiting it to those that live in the area to come into the area. And this is because of the imminent risk. And the rain is part of it, but it goes beyond that. We have slopes, natural slopes and man-made slopes that are quite unstable right now, that could even fail and have been failing even when it's not raining. The rain hits another level of concern for me. The other thing that I want to convey community is that it's the cumulative effect of these rains and not just one rainstorm that I have concerns about. So I appreciate the public's patience as we are trying to protect you and your properties, and as we are trying to reduce the risk through this massive public works project that we're undergoing. First phase, first step, remove debris. However, long before the debris removed, we've been maintaining that flood control system that controls the debris and flood system. That system is up and running in really good shape. What's in really not good shape are the natural man-made and slopes and houses that have burned. The houses that have burned to the ground have generated some 4.5 million tons of debris. This is half of the waste load that we normally throw away in a year in LA County. All of LA County is about 11 million tons, and we have 4.5 million tons sitting ready to go, and it has things like asbestos in it, lead, mercury, legacy pollutants from building materials that have been built with through the years that the Corps of Engineers and the FEMA are helping us get off the property. That right now, what we've done is stabilize the construction site, if you will, prepared it to protect people, property, and the environment. But there's a large-scale project also going on. So I'm just asking for the community's patience and understanding as we are attempting to reduce the risk by commencing this very, very large public works project. Yesterday we had the beginning of the two storms that we predicted in LA County, and the storms acted as we expected. There wasn't a tremendous amount of rainfall, but it was consistent throughout the night. We expect there to be more rainfall Thursday through Friday. And as I said, this will impact the stability. It'll incrementally impact the stability of an already unstable condition. I would continue to recommend that residents that live in burn areas shelter in place when it rains, that you prepare to be in your home when it's raining if you live in one of the burn scar areas in LA County, Palisades or Eaton Fire area. I have offered over and over again, and many of you have taken advantage of, our free engineering advice and sandbagging that's going on. You can get that at the number that Supervisor mentioned, 1-800-675-4357. We will be happy to come and talk to you about that. There are a number of road closures in the unincorporated area as well. Not too many to list. Please go to our website, recover.lacounty.gov or ready.lacounty.gov to learn about all the status of road closures in your community. With respect to debris removal, as was mentioned by both supervisors, we're very proud to mention that, to note that many of you are taking advantage of this program, which I again, as the engineer here for LA County engineer, would recommend you do so. It is the most affordable and most effective way to get your property cleared. We will do that in concert with the Army Corps of Engineers. I've been in consultation with them throughout it, and I'm going to just go ahead and make a recommendation to anyone who's even thinking about having their property cleared. If it was my property, I would opt into this program, and I would opt in to have my foundation removed. For those of you who feel that foundation may be worth something still, we will work with you. We will not remove, the Corps will not remove anything that's going to leave your property in an unsafe condition or properties around it in an unsafe condition. The best bang for your buck is to opt into this program. Once you opt in, your ROE's in with us, we get you going, we send that off to the Army Corps of Engineers, and we start planning how these properties get cleared. The sooner we get an ROE, all these ROEs, the faster we can plan and the faster we can get to you. We've encouraged neighborhoods to get together and to work with each other to have a whole neighborhood get their ROEs at one time. This allows us an easier constructability and easier removal of the debris. I'm very proud to tell you that 6,498 right of entry forms total have been received to date. We have close to or nearly 13,000 properties that are affected, so we're more than halfway there. We'd love to see everyone opt in that's eligible to opt into this program. And the other piece of advice we get you is if you're not sure whether or not you're eligible, opt in. We'll let you know. We'll let you know if you're eligible or not. And then if you're deciding to opt out and do this work on your own, we are developing, it's under development right now, a permit in conjunction with the cities that are involved, where we're going to try to have a coordinated effort to issue those permits to folks like commercial properties and others that are choosing. First, commercial properties are not being cleared by the Army in this effort, so those folks will need permits to conduct debris removal, and those residential property owners decide to go that way. You can find out more about this by going to recovery.lacounty.gov. I will also be conducting a workshop for contractors, local contractors, professional engineers, and architects next week. The date is currently pending, where we're going to be having locals come in and we're going to extend our workforce through you, but also get input from those professionals on how best we can streamline the process of debris removal for you, but more importantly, rebuilding. And then lastly, on rebuilding, every jurisdiction in the county is ready to receive your building permit applications. We want you to make those applications just as soon as you're ready to make them. There's no reason you can't process an application for building permit while we're doing the work to remove debris from your property. I'll leave it there, and I'm not sure who I'm having up next, so I'll leave it to our MC to let me know. Oh, there it is. If I would just follow the order here. I'm very pleased to bring up to the microphone Dr. Barbara Ferrer, Director, LA County Department of Public Health.
Good morning, and thank you so much, Supervisors Horvath and Supervisor Barger, for your leadership and for bringing us together very often to make sure that we're able to communicate to residents all across the county our commitment to really support a full recovery. I also want to acknowledge and appreciate residents, our county, state, and federal partners who are helping us recover from the devastating fires. I know that returning home after a fire can be overwhelming, and this is compounded by the fact that there are potential health risks that exist in the affected areas. Fires don't just burn structures. They create hazardous debris and airborne particles, including ash, soot, and smoke residue. These materials contain dangerous substances like lead, arsenic, and heavy metals, which pose health risks, especially for children, older adults, and those with respiratory conditions. Even if your home wasn't directly damaged, exposure to fine particles from the surrounding area can still affect indoor air quality and personal health. For residents whose homes were badly damaged or burned, you already know the debris removal process is happening in two distinct phases, each with a specific timeline and a process for safely remediating the property. For those with homes and businesses near burnt properties, we strongly recommend limiting outdoor activity in the areas where the EPA is actively removing hazardous materials. Additionally, if your home is near an area with significant fire debris or burnt buildings, it may be advisable to delay your return until all fire debris has been removed, as removal activities can stir up ash and soot, affecting air quality. While steps are being taken to mitigate these risks, waiting until the area is fully cleaned may be the safest option for people at higher risk. Once you're allowed to return to your home, it's important to take some precautionary steps that can minimize exposures to harmful fire-related contaminants. Before settling back in, take time to assess your home for soot, ash, and smoke contamination. If you don't see visible soot or ash on surfaces and you don't smell smoke indoors, your home is likely safe for re-entry. But if you do notice ash or soot, and you can conduct a simple wipe test on windowsills or walls to see if a residue appears on a damp cloth, additional cleaning is necessary. If you smell smoke, cleaning is also advised, even if you don't see ash or soot. If your home has been affected by ash or smoke, it's essential to use precautions when cleaning. Protect yourself by wearing an N95 respirator mask, wear long sleeves, pants, goggles, and gloves while you're cleaning. Avoid dry sweeping, as this can stir up harmful particles into the air. Instead, it's better to use damp cleaning methods. You can clean your outdoor areas by gently hosing down patios, furniture, and windows to prevent the ash from becoming airborne. You can clean your indoor surfaces with damp cloths, and you should do this to wipe down your walls, furniture, and high contact areas. Please dispose of the ash properly by collecting it in sealed plastic bags and placing the fire debris in covered trash bins. If your home has significant soot, smoke damage, or lingering odors, even after you've cleaned, professional cleaning may be necessary. And just some advice when you're hiring a contractor. You should check with your insurance provider, if you have insurance, to see if they have recommended vendors. Always ensure that the contractor is licensed and insured. You can request references, and you can verify credentials with organizations like the Institute of Inspection, Cleaning, and Restoration, IICRC. They have a certification program, and most reputable remediation firms will carry these certifications. And we urge everyone, so that you don't get ripped off, to obtain a detailed written estimate before any work begins. As families move back into their homes, we also do encourage people to monitor themselves for any symptoms that could be linked to lingering contaminants. So coughing or ongoing throat or irritation, eye discomfort or headaches, worsening asthma or breathing difficulties are indications you should speak with your health provider, and you may need to have someone come in and assist you with additional cleaning. Vulnerable populations, which include children, older adults, and individuals with pre-existing conditions, may also want to consult with their medical provider before they're reoccupying homes that are very close to burn areas while fire debris is being removed. The Department of Public Health has posted a lot of detailed information at publichealth.lacounty.gov, as well as the recovery.la.gov website. And if you have specific concerns about air quality or exposure risks, you can contact an environmental health specialist at 626-430-9821. That's 626-430-9821. We're working with others to assist all residents that are navigating the recovery process. And this includes working with our local, state, and federal partners so that we can monitor and assess the impact of the wildfires on air, water, and soil. In upcoming weeks, as information is collected by the various partners, it will be shared regularly with community residents, and it can be used to guide additional mitigation efforts. While this is a challenging time, I know that the entire county remains committed to prioritizing health and safety during the rebuilding of beloved communities. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll now transition to question and answer. Please wait to be called upon, announce your name and which media outlet you are with. We're going to start right over here.
Thank you so much. This is Kate Cagle from Spectrum News 1, and my question is for Supervisor Horvath. Can you tell us the latest on updating or opening the Palisades back up to the public and what those conversations are right now as far as maintaining those access points?
So those determinations specific to the Palisades neighborhoods that have been closed by the City of Los Angeles, those decisions are being made by the City of Los Angeles and their related officials. So they are advising us as they're making those decisions.
Thank you. We'll go right here in the front.
Good morning, Craig Figner with KNX News. I think my question's for Colonel Swenson with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I want to know if you have a number on how many properties in the Eaton fire zone have been cleared by the EPA, and then how many properties are in phase 2 that have had the debris removed by the Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, good morning, sir, and good morning, LA County. I'm going to answer your second part, and I'm going to defer the first part of your question to the EPA. I just want to say it's a great day here in LA County. We have started phase 2 debris removal, and I'm pleased to announce that we've got 5 schools in the Pacified Unified School District that are on our runway, and we may even have one of them complete in the next day or 2. We have not yet started on our first residential property, as alluded to by the Director of Public Works, but we are working closely towards that goal, and as soon as we get our first batch of ROEs, we will start residential debris removal. And I'm going to pass it off to the EPA to answer the question about phase 1.
Thank you, Mike Montgomery, Superfund Director for US EPA in Region 9. We have completed about 5% of properties. We've conducted reconnaissance at about 60%. The initial reconnaissance is required so that we can identify which parcels can be safely entered. And then our teams go out. We have an excellent public-facing portal that people can go and look at if they want to see the status of their individual properties. It'll show status of reconnaissance, status of EPA work. It's US EPA / California wildfire. And yeah, so that's our status. We have over 100 teams on the ground and over 1,000 personnel right now.
Thank you. We'll go right here, second row.
Good morning, Gigi Graciette with Fox 11 News. This afternoon, community activists are going to hold a media briefing outside the Red Cross shelter in Pasadena. They say they have evacuees who are displeased. They're saying the Red Cross shelter has been mismanaged, and they're expressing concern that it's going to close and there's no solid plan for rehoming or for another home for these folks. Can someone talk about that?
I will. First of all, that's news to me about the mismanagement. I had not heard that. I know that there was misinformation out there that the Red Cross would be closing the shelter today. Understand this is a temporary shelter. And it's important for the Red Cross and the county to work together to find interim housing for these individuals. So it was never the intent to have the Pasadena Convention Center be a permanent place for housing. So the shelter is not closing today, but my understanding is the date may be the 17th. So we are going to work and coordinate with the Red Cross to make that happen. But again, Gigi, as far as mismanagement, that is news to me, and I've been there several times. And have to say, between the Red Cross, Ultimed, Kaiser, and community partners, I've seen anything but mismanagement as it relates to the quality of services that have been provided to the people that need it the most.
Thank you, Supervisor. Any other questions right here?
Hi, my name is Ashley Orona, LA Public Press. So I understand that the US EPA is leading phase 1 of the cleaning process. They have 2 staging areas where the debris is temporarily stored and packaged. But where is the material permanently going? What facilities are identified? How were they identified? Are they local, out of state? And then similarly for phase 2, Director Mark Pastrella mentioned last conference that the debris will be taken to 4 landfills in the county. Can you name those 4 landfills? How were they identified? And then overall, how are you all making sure that communities along the process, both during the transportation and final resting place of the debris, is being kept safe?
Thank you. EPA, do you want to address that first part? Then we'll go to Director Pastrella after that.
All right, so just to take a step back, states establish waste acceptance criteria for the types of facilities that accept this material. And so we have different types of materials, right? We have oils and propane tanks and solids and liquids and all the variety of stuff you typically find, under your sink or in your garage. Those can go to different facilities. So they're going to go to a bunch of different facilities, but we'll make sure all those facilities are in compliance before we ship the material out to them.
Thank you. Director Pastrella, do you want to talk about the phase 2 debris?
The question on debris, I understand the question to be where is the debris going? Is that the basic question? And I know previously you mentioned 4 available. We actually have identified 17 locations throughout LA County and actually a couple in Ventura County. And how that goes, so that everyone understands, is that these landfills are permitted to receive the materials that we are identifying on the site already. It's not a new permission to receive those landfills. They're permitted by Cal Recycle, the state of California. So they own permits that allow them to receive materials. One of the issues that I brought up the 4 previously is we know the construction activity will go 24, we would like it to go 24/7 at some point. And one of the restrictions in most of these landfills is the operating hours. The other restriction is how much material they can take so they don't reach their capacity for landfill. These are land use requirements the local jurisdictions set on the landfills themselves. The materials that they can take, those are permitted by the state of California, Cal Recycle. We are working with the Army Corps of Engineers and their debris specialists to identify these locations, and then the Army Corps of Engineers makes the ultimate decision on where they will take the material and where they will haul the material as well. I can tell you that we're working in close coordination with them and the cities that are impacted by the haul routes and the landfill, where the landfills are going. And we are admittedly getting information as we're speaking about where it's going. I know that the Colonel came up and talked about his work that he's doing right now, and I'll let him give you the locations of where the material are going for the current cleanup.
Thank you. We'll take, sorry, go ahead, Colonel.
Good morning again, Colonel Eric Swenson. So for the schools, we're just talking the 5 Pasadena Unified School District schools. Ash and debris is going to Simi Valley landfill. Concrete and asbestos is going to the Zula landfill, and metals are going to SA Recycling. These are all places that are permitted to receive this type of debris, and these are acceptable locations for that debris, and it has all been coordinated. And as the Director of Public Works said, we work closely with his staff to make sure, and the cities that are under the county in this effort, to deconflict the haul routes we're using and to try to get the debris as quickly as we can out of the communities onto county and state roads and ultimately into these landfills, because the whole purpose of us being here is to protect the health and safety and to remove the health and safety hazards that were caused by this fire. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll take one last question right here.
Hi, my name is Tony Briscoe. I'm a reporter with the LA Times. Just to piggyback off of that question, I was wondering, has any agency to this point conducted any environmental testing on the wildfire ash? And also, what gives the county confidence that non-hazardous waste landfills will be able to accept this ash and debris that might contain contaminants?
Yeah, thanks so much for the questions on testing. There have been a few academic centers that started testing ash and I'm going to call it ash and soot for the most part. We will start as the Department of Public Health doing some risk assessments ourselves. We'll probably start having people in the field collecting samples this week as a risk assessment. What's in the ash and soot is really the question that people are asking, as well as what's in the soil. I want to note that Director Postrella mentioned that the State Water Board is already testing the ocean waters, and all the water purveyors, those are the water companies that provide us with potable water, drinking water, routinely have to check and test their water. What we're going to do is, and it will take us a little while, is we're going to create one dashboard, because it's very hard right now for residents to actually go to one place and be able to find the monitoring data. And we've had enormous cooperation from federal, state, and our local academic partners, as well as some national academic partners, to all try to post on one dashboard. So we're working on that now so that there is better assessment data. Everyone knows for air quality, AQMD posts every day on their website the air quality, but people are asking, and rightfully so, for more detailed information, particularly on what's in the ash and soot and what might have fallen into the soil.
As to the landfill's ability to receive those materials, as I stated earlier, that they are certified by Cal Recycle, the state of California, and the State Water Board to receive the materials. We have delivered these types of materials to our local landfills in the past. And so it's a known, the permitting process is known, all the protocols that are supposed to be followed are followed by those landfill operators under their permits from the state of California. So we're confident that these facilities are the appropriate facilities. One other question people are asking, do we have enough room in our landfills for that? The answer to that is yes, we do.
Thank you. We'll now transition to one-on-one interviews. We also have Spanish speakers available. If you are with a Spanish outlet, please convene over here and we'll do a press gaggle with them. For one-on-ones, please approach forward and we'll connect you with the appropriate speaker. Thank you.